The only thing that I'm adding to this is continuing education hours of 16 hours per year. And so the reason why we are bringing this bill, because there is an attempt to actually deregulate hair braiding, which I think would be gravely dangerous.
And the 16 hours of continuing education, would that apply just to the hair braiders, or does it apply now to all cosmetologists?
It would only apply to hair braiders at this point.
My name is Willie Payne, and I was one of the ones that had the training in that particular area. And I just want to let you know what the 500 hours entails. Okay, first of all, it's the history of braiding. Okay, it also it's the professional image, communication skills, the general science of infection control, general anatomy of the hair, skin disorders, scalp care, shampoo and conditioning, preparing the hair for braiding.
The Willie Payne situation, where does that stand statewide, federal-wise?
Well, it's Willie Payne School. The license has been revoked, and it is no longer a school, and it's over. It does not stand anywhere. The license has been revoked.
Just want you to know how important you people are in coming here. I just got a text message from the governor who's watching this meeting, and he said, I think you should let one of the ladies at the witness table demonstrate your craft by braiding my hair. So. And I said back, can I mention this text? He said, sure. So he's looking down on you.
My name is Reverend Freddie Phillips. I represent LAPA, Louisiana Association of Professional Auctioneers. I have a great concern, Senator, Mr. Chairman, and this board, concerning the depth of hours and information that is required for something that is so menial, and people are doing it, and they're doing it from their childhood up to their adulthood. Now, I've heard a lot of cases where people say there's health issues and things of that magnitude that regulates, but the Department of Health can regulate that. 500 hours for something that somebody's already doing and do it very well, probably better than those who have gone to school to do it, and you're putting such a burden upon them. But what they're trying to do now, 500 hours, is, that's a lot of hours for someone who really is already doing this. And, at the end of the day, Inspector Crawford is coming around penalizing people for something that is not even a legitimate reason. And the Department of Health can do so more than I feel the Cosmetology Board can in regulating. I heard somebody talk about eating in shops. We eat in other places that are not regulatory, and nobody says anything about that. But we're talking about people that's going to probably be working from their homes, primarily at home business, to cut overhead costs, that probably use a room that they have that can use for multi-purposes and things like that. We're not thinking about the consumer aspect of it. We're thinking about the professional aspect. And I've always said that if they're going to do something, let them do some type of online training that's feasible and economical for those individuals. But to put them through a class that they're not going to use half of the stuff that they're going to learn, it's not even a consideration for the profession. This is braiding. And the braiding aspect of it is a culture that's been passed down from generation to generation, that many of the people that are doing this has been doing it, and they've been doing it since they were children. This is not some professional thing that you could be taught. This is caught through learning.
Okay. Thank you.
In addition to that, I would also like to say to what the Reverend said a second ago, about that some of the braiders coming through, that this is not going to be their full-time financial subsidy of their household. That's incorrect. I have students coming to me that are getting a cosmetology license, and all they want to do is leave and become a braider, and that is their full-time job. That is what they're doing whenever they leave our Cosmetology Institute, and some of them are making more money than I do. It is something that they're going to go out and service the public. A gentleman earlier in support of the bill in the corner also talked about that some of these braiders or these styles are not simply being performed on dry hair. a huge portion of the styles that my students do that are classified as braiding involve a shampoo and a blow dry before they style. My students are required to complete a minimum, I think it's 200 or 250 hours of shampooing and health and sanitation as part of their 1,500 hour curriculums. My concern as an educator, beyond a hairdresser, as an educator, is it appears recently our industry is under attack by deregulation. Would I love to see that number higher than 500? Yes. Would I love to see continuing education across our industry as a standard? Yes. But my fear is that if we don't do something now to put that into statute, we're going to continue facing deregulation every year.
I want to thank you for that. I think you've cleared it up and you've made it real clear to me exactly what the issue is now. And I appreciate what you just said. Where you sit is in the position of an educator.
Yes, sir.
And so you would love to have everyone be overeducated rather than undereducated.
Yes, sir.
And that's your perspective. There's another side that would say, I think this is more simplistic than what you may be making it out to be, and I understand, and understand that's what public policy is about. Is
that's comment, and I agree with what Senator Cortez said. I'm not against the educational aspect. I can say that the educational aspect could be more feasible to accommodating, just like online education does, to make it convenient for people to maintain their jobs. Because if you have to take off for 12 weeks, you're going to be unemployed afterwards.
Oh, Robert Burns, I'm sorry. I want to go to Senator Cortez's point. The 800-pound gorilla that nobody wants to talk about, and you have majority, school owners that will come up and be supportive of these number of hours, is how much does it cost? All right, and that's the issue that nobody wanted to discuss when Representative Emerson's bill was over on the House side, and I'm going to let you know how much it cost, because here's one of the two schools that offers the program. It's right here online. The grand total for the tuition is $11,725. And then there's the notation that you need to understand, this does not include room and board. So I think the clear problem that needs to be addressed here is barriers to entry. $11,725 is going to be a humongous barrier to entry. And it's the 800-pound gorilla that no one wants to step up here to the microphone and address. So I'm doing that. I think that that is a tremendous hurdle. This is one of only two schools that you can even get the program from. I'd also like to state that, as some of you may know, I work extensively with the Institute for Justice and Americans for Prosperity. There are 23 states that have now deregulated this, and you're not getting any reports of any big calamities that have happened from them. Mississippi, our neighboring state, has gone to a far less restrictive program. I know all this was discussed last year, so I'm not going to spend an enormous amount of time on it. However, I show up and I videotape meetings of the Cosmetology Board. I'm sure they're happy to see me once again. And so I've invested an enormous amount of time in the research of this. I'm just going to say this because it's fact. I mean, Mr. Payne was up here earlier giving you some information. What the board clearly would not want you to know is that Mr. Payne's own school was shut down because of a number of problems with regard to high school diplomas from Bel Air High School to qualify for getting the license. So, I think that, some credibility needs to be assessed on some of these things. And I think the problem is that all of these school owners, you hit the nail on the head, probably 10,000 hours is not enough. And I know I'm being a little bit flippant, but that's the reality. And to come up and to say that there's all these drastic problems that would happen, and Senator Barrow and I are good friends, we get along great, we disagree on this issue, but I have her on videotape at the Cosmetology Board where something went wrong with her hair braiding, and one of the board members asked, well, I assume this person wasn't licensed, to which Senator Barrow had to respond, oh yes, they were licensed.
During the legislative session, there was a bill by one of my colleagues to actually do away with the requirement of licensure. And I believe that would be a grave mistake. I believe that individuals should be required and licensed to do hair, regardless of what type of procedure they're actually doing, because they are touching the body. I've had my hair braided before, and I found out that my hair is thick, but it's fine. And as a result of that, I actually had some breakage and actually lost some of my hair. And so that was not told to me when I got my hair done. No one said, the length or the time that I should have actually done that. And I think, if we get into the market of not having individuals licensed to do that kind of work, you will have a lot of incidents where people who, like myself, thought that I knew my hair a little bit better, would make great mistakes, and they may not be advised because the person that's doing the hair is not advised or not knowledgeable.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The person that braided your hair was unlicensed?
No, they were actually licensed, but they didn't tell me. First of all, probably it stayed in too long. I had it in there for 2 months. That probably was too long, but I got really comfortable with that. But I thought because my hair was thick that I didn't have to worry about that. And then when I took it down, I found out, yeah, it's thick, but it's fine. And I should have taken it out 2 weeks earlier.
Right.
But she still didn't tell me.
Right.
Yeah. But she was licensed. I do want to clarify this that Mr. Burns brought up, because I did go before the board, and I shared with them my concern about the deregulations. I shared with them that I had had my hair braided. I don't know if many of y'all remember that I had my hair braided last year. The lady was licensed, but what she didn't tell me was how long I needed to keep my braids in. So as a result, I ended up losing some of my edges in my hair, and that's what I testified
That happened
to
Senator White, too. It never came back.
I see he's working on trying to grow them back. So, once again, that information, yes, she was trained, but that information was not shared with me, and I kept them in too long, and that was the problem. So I want to make sure I got that cleared, and that is what it's on the tape, and if he plays the tape, that is what it would say.
So I would submit one of the major complaints that have come forward here happened from a licensed individual. And I would submit that I can tell you for a fact that many of the licensed schools that can give you a full-blown cosmetology license will readily tell you they don't know the first thing about hair braiding. Okay? So that's why you have this limited number of schools that offer the program, and I think at $11,000 is a significant barrier to entry. So I would strongly encourage you to oppose this bill. I really do appreciate the time.
Okay. Senator Mizell.
Just a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
When you mentioned the 11,000, how many hours of training is that course, the $11,000 course?
This is for a 1,000-hour course, which is sort of ironic given that the present requirement is only 500.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I did not go and research this. However, I'm pretty sure the individual was correct who told me this.
What state is that, sir, if you don't mind me asking?
Pardon me?
What state is that?
It's Louisiana. It's one of the cosmetology board members that owns the
well,
school, Stevenson Academy.
You answer the questions, and ma'am, that's okay.
And when you mentioned Mississippi as having changed some of their what hours do they require? Do you know offhand?
Mississippi now has you merely fill out a registration that puts them on notice that you are doing this. And I believe the fee is $20. You have to answer about 10 questions, and it's filed. That's it.
And that's with the Department of Health, or is that? Do you know who oversees that?
I don't know who that's registered with. I really wish we had some Institute for Justice officials who could give you that authoritative answer. I'm reluctant to say authoritatively because I don't know. I just know you have to register with them. It was my understanding it's like an 8-question thing on the back you have to complete. You turn it in, you pay your renewal fee, and you're good for another year.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And what this report shows is this is incredibly safe, and common sense suggests wash your hands, sanitize your tools, send customers home. And there has been no evidence in the 22 states that now free braiders of a real health and safety problem. This is a jobs bill. This report compares Louisiana to Mississippi. In Mississippi, where all you have to do is register and take a 1-page test, there are 1,245 braiders working above ground. In Louisiana, there are only 47, and those were grandfathered in, and there hasn't been a new braider since 2005.
Because they can't because they can't get the course.
Because they can't get the course.
So,
and I will answer any other questions that you guys have. I don't want to belabor the issue.
we have no questions.
Okay.
So if you want to,
I ask for your favorable passage as amended.
okay. Pleasure of the committee. Senator Thompson moves that Senate Bill 370 be reported favorably as amended. Is there any objection? Senator Peacock objects. Just object or substitute or? Okay. The vote will occur on Senator Thompson's motion to report the bill favorably as amended. If you are in favor of the bill moving out of here and to the Senate floor, you will vote yes. If you are opposed, you will vote no. Secretary will call the roll.
Senator White?
Yes.
Yes. Senator Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Senator Cortez? No. Senator Mizell? No. Senator Peacock? No. Senator Perry? No. Senator Thompson? Yes.
All right. Thank you.
The motion fails.
Okay.
Any additional motions? Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. For the record, that bill stays in committee. So.